It's that time of the week again. It's time for another NXT review with Mr. Parkin on behalf of the British Fist. And nothing gets you excited more for NXT when you know that Leo Kruger and Xavier Woods is the main event of NXT, brother. So in our opening match, we had Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy, who they need to find a tag team name for, really. Let's face it, could it be SAWFT Soft? Probably so, there we go. Versus Alexander Rusev and Scott Dawson, who are managed, of course, by Sylvester Lethal about the money. Kind of cool. This kind of stemmed from a segment which happened a couple of weeks back when Scott Dawson defeated Enzo Amore due to Alexander Rusev coming out and distracting Enzo Amore by beating up Colin Cassidy. So this kind of made sense a little bit, even though I wasn't too interested in this match. I say this, though. I think Enzo Amore would be a better manager. I mean, right now he's kind of just a jobber. I think that guy, he kind of has that manager feel about him. Like, he shouldn't really be in the ring. He should be getting beat up in the ring occasionally, but should be a manager, in my opinion. This match, like I said, I wasn't too interested in it, to be honest, but it was an interesting ending. The referee stops the match after getting to a 5 count when both Alexander Rusev and Scott Dawson were trying to do a double team move. I don't know about you, but unless that was a botch, I've never ever seen a match end that way before, especially a tag team match. You know, have you? Maybe in the old school days it may have ended that way, but never seen a match ended via a 5 count because both guys are in the ring on the 5 count before. And you gotta love how happy Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore were with a DQ victory over these guys. They were going fucking mental with the crowd, they were. You know, I've gone on record many times to say Bo Dallas's promos were terrible, and they were terrible in my opinion. His speech just really wasn't that good, and it just never really fit the character. And to be honest with you, lately, his promos and speech haven't really got that much better. It's just that the way he's conducting his promos is really suiting this new character he's got right now, ever since they kind of tweaked him into more of a heel character. And to be honest with you, when I saw Bo Dallas come out, for the first time ever, I was actually looking forward to hearing the bullshit he was going to come out with and how booed he was going to get by the NXT arena. We found out a couple of things from Bo Dallas's promo here. Number 1, he feels he is Sami Zayn's mentor. Ego. He will give him a non-title match when he is healthy. Ego. And he isn't the commissioner, so he can't make the match. Ego getting a little bit bigger. Can you see what they're kind of doing with Bo Dallas's character here? They're kind of giving him this egotistical, you know, I think I'm better than everyone else kind of character. And it just kind of works because he's getting booed and he's still trying to be this babyface saying, don't stop believing, which is really corny, which means people want to hate him even more. But there we go. So I thought this promo was actually quite entertaining. And that's the first time I've ever said that about a Bo Dallas promo in a while. Is Tyler Breeze still feuding with this loser? At this rate, I'm going to say that Tyler Breeze is actually high for really actually caring about this douchebag. Paige versus Sasha Banks was one of those matches where I wasn't really too interested in the match. It kind of reminds me of Mickie James's heel turn that they did. Throughout a lot of the times in TNA, I was really looking forward more to what they were going to do with Mickie James than any of the Knockouts matches. And here, I was quite interested in what they were going to do with Sasha Banks after these 2 backstage segments they've had in the last 2 weeks with Summer Rae. It was very clear they were going to try and do something a little bit with the Sasha Banks character, maybe give us some kind of mean streak. And to be honest with you, it was getting to that point which I was more worried about. But this match got plenty of time, to my surprise, I must say, and was pretty decent and was quite competitive. And Paige ends up winning after countering a splash, and it was a pretty decent match. So getting to what I wanted to see was actually slightly to semi-entertaining, I would say. And then we got Sasha Banks' heel turn. You know, you had her basically go and attack Paige after the match, and it seems like now they're turning Sasha Banks into a heel, which, to be honest with you, kind of needed to happen because her character was very stale, and she needed something different about her in order to be more relevant on NXT and maybe be a bigger part of the Divas division, which is kind of dominated by Paige and Emma right now, to be honest. And they even followed it up afterwards with a backstage segment between Emma and Sasha Banks afterwards. So this is actually done pretty well. I mean, even though the setup was questionable in my opinion, I mean, just because Summer Rae has talked to you a couple of times, why would you go and turn heel all of a sudden? But at least they've done something, cultivated it over a couple of weeks, and now we've got the payoff here with the heel turn. I wonder if this is going to lead to another match down the line, or whether that's just going to, you know, inevitably delay the potential, what I think should be the big Divas match, which is going to be Emma versus Paige 2. Like I said at the beginning of this video, nothing gets you more excited for what is essentially 2 jobbers in the main event. Leo Kruger versus Xavier Woods. What the hell was this doing in the main event of NXT? Especially after having one little snippet backstage segment last week of Leo Kruger randomly attacking Xavier Woods. to set it up. I mean, this is the kind of match that I would think would be in the middle of the card to fill time, not be some kind of main event match that would end the NXT show. Although I'll say this, at least it got someone different in the main event of NXT. Xavier Woods, a character which I'm kind of into, the crowd I guess would be kind of into due to his dancing gimmick and everything. So it was nice that they, at least for 1 week, gave Xavier Woods the main event spotlight. And I guess my problem with this was there was way too many arm bars in this match, way too many heel segments in this match, and there's no way a match like this, in my opinion, should go more than 10 minutes, and it just, eventually, I kind of lost interest in it, and it was mainly based on the lack of strength of the characters in the main event, rather than the match itself kind of contributed it to it as well. With Leo Kruger, was the only move he seemed to be able to do was an arm bar. I understand they're trying to focus on the arm, etc., but the match kind of got a little bit boring, and they didn't really let Xavier Woods do all that much exciting stuff, in my opinion, which is one of the best things about Xavier Woods. He was in the X Division in TNA, so let him do some X Division stuff every now and then, but we didn't really get that. I was surprised Xavier Woods won. I mean, Leo Kruger was recently a #1 contender for the NXT Championship, and Xavier Woods got the victory here. Hey, maybe they'll do something with Xavier Woods down the line. Maybe they're going to try and build this Xavier Woods character up a little bit, but I don't know about Xavier Woods being a main event guy or some guy that could main event or go after the NXT Championship, but I guess for 1 week it was okay, but down the line, Leo Kruger and Xavier Woods, I do not want to see in any kind of NXT main event, in my opinion, because I did quickly lose interest here. As for this show overall, it's kind of difficult to really sum up. The main event I really wasn't into all that much, but you had a decent Divas match, a heel turn in that Divas match as well. You had Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy celebrating like fuck after they got a DQ victory in a very unique way, so that's another positive, I guess. The Bo Dallas promo I felt was quite good in what it needed to achieve, which is to set up a potential Bo Dallas versus Sami Zayn title match down the line, which will happen at some point, I just wonder when. So there were some positives about NXT. There are also some negatives. I don't know why they're continuing on this Tyler Breeze and CJ Parker feud. I really don't have a clue what's going on there, and why Leo Kruger and Xavier Woods are in this main event scene right now in NXT. I don't know. This had some positives to it, but it also had some lulls in it as well, which, especially when the lull is the main event, it kind of makes the whole show and puts a damper on that a little bit. But you guys let me know what you thought of this show and NXT in general down in the comment section below, and I will see you next week for another NXT review with me, Mr. Parkin, on behalf of the British Fest. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.